Why do so many clever people believe aliens exist, especially when we've never seen any evidence that they do? And why is everyone so obsessed with the Fermi paradox?
But I think this is one of the great questions in physics and philosophy, where are the aliens? Maybe they're among us, I don't know. Some people think I'm an alien.
In other words, it's very unlikely that there is not life. There are a billion, not a billion planets, a billion solar-like systems. There are lots of mysteries out there.
I was saying that I think that life elsewhere in the universe is a physical inevitability. Even if the galaxy were not inconceivably huge, which it is, the chemical system that is life obeys the laws of kinetics and thermodynamics, and while it is possibly the coolest, most interesting thing, it's not magical. Intelligent life does not seem inevitable in the same way. It just seems extraordinarily likely.
Are we alone? Recent amazing discoveries have given us more hope than ever that our universe is full of life. So why don't we see it?
I mean, if the universe is infinite, you might have it containing maybe an infinite number of extraterrestrial civilizations.
It's true. And I'm actually being serious here, is that there's footage and records of objects in the skies that we don't know exactly what they are.
It would be completely naive of us to think that we, in this beautiful bubble called Earth, are the only living intelligent beings in the universe.
What this comes down to is a lot of really smart people honestly believe aliens exist. And I'm going to walk you through the exact logic they use to make that decision so that you can make an informed decision on whether or not you believe in aliens too. And then at the end, I'm going to walk you through what scientists today believe is the probability of finding aliens out there in space. For those of you who don't know, the Fermi paradox basically says, given there's so many stars out in the sky, why haven't we seen any aliens? Why isn't the universe teeming with aliens? And this is why so many people are confused by the Fermi paradox. And we're going to use the speech to explain why it's a paradox that we haven't found any aliens. Big numbers are almost impossible for us to get our heads around. When I say the word 106 trillion stars in the universe, what do you think of? If you're like me, you have no idea what that number means. And hence why we're at this beach. Because it's a number of sand particles, not at this beach, but on every single beach around the planet. That's just how big that number is. Oh wait, I also forgot, it includes every single desert around the planet. Now let's say every single grain of sand purchased a lotto ticket. Then there would be enough lotto winners to fill this entire beach. And that's not just the standard lotto, that's the jackpot and the bonus number. So if you replace the probability of winning lotto with the probability that there are aliens out there, given there are so many stars in the universe, there has to be this many aliens around us. If every single grain of sand, you can't quite see it, represents a star in the sky, and there are 200 billion stars in the Milky Way galaxy. When you look at the probability, it's ludicrous that it's not teeming with life out there. To look at another example, if the probability was the same as you being struck by lightning, not once, but twice, then this beach would be littered with people who had been hit by lightning twice. The Fermi paradox is a paradox because there are so many stars in the sky, so many opportunities for life, that it's hard to fathom a probability so low, there's only one, us. So why aren't we seeing any aliens around us? An alien doesn't have to come visit us for us to know they're there. You might have heard of this idea called a Dyson sphere. Basically this idea that you can wrap a star in solar panels, completely blocking out the light. More recently, we've decided to call it a Dyson swarm, because just like how we are surrounding Earth in satellites, we will eventually go out and surround the sun in thousands, millions, trillions of different satellites, all powered by solar panels. A lot of people believe that is inevitable. But what is interesting, if another star out there was wrapped in solar panels or a huge number of satellites, we would detect that from Earth. The Hubble telescope or the JWST would totally see that. It would be visible, yet we haven't spotted any yet. Basically, the question is, why haven't we seen a star covered in satellites? Probably thinking it's obvious. We haven't had time personally for humans to wrap our sun in satellites. So similarly, aliens out there haven't had time to do this. And to answer that question, this is why I've got this piece of paper out in front of me. Now, the universe is 13.7 billion years old. I've drawn out a line to represent that, and every 2 millimeters represents 100 million years. Now, Earth has only been around for 4.5 billion years. Now, how many years do you think it'll take for us to build a Dyson sphere? 1,000 years, 10 generations, 20 generations, a million years. So let's say worst case scenario, it's going to take us another 100 million years, which is longer than humanity's been alive, in order to cover our star and satellites. So that would only increase the line by that much time. And so this is why it gets interesting, because any alien civilization that was born even a fraction earlier than us would have had enough time in order to build a Dyson sphere. And the dilemma is the fact that we don't actually see any out there. Now the thing is, it doesn't have to be a Dyson sphere. The rapid change that we're creating in the atmosphere right now would be detectable out in space. But any alien out there right now would see us and hypothesize that something is going on with that planet. Other objects that we would see out in space are things like a ring world, like what you see in Halo or the book Ring World. And if you're interested in mega projects like how you would build a ring world, there is this book here with a link in the description. It's a book I wrote about 4 characters going out and exploring the galaxy and embarking on mega projects in order to terraform planets so that humans could potentially live there. The link is in the description, and honestly, if you want to support me, buying this book is the #1 way you can do it. And if you're watching this video and you're interested in topics covered in this video, then I definitely think you will like this book. So now that we have a really good understanding of why really smart people believe there has to be life out there, let's look at what astrophysicists believe today, how they look and approach this question. Now this is the Drake equation. It's the estimation that Frank Drake came up with when he was looking at the problem of the Fermi paradox. I'm not going to bore you with the numbers here, but let's break this down. N is the number we're looking to calculate, the number of alien civilizations out there that are detectable. R is the rate of star formation. How many stars out there could potentially host life? These next 3 numbers are how likely is it that life is going to show up? These last 2 are great filters. So how long is it going to take us? And is it possible for us to get to a sufficiently advanced technological space? And this last one is just the length of time. How long do civilizations stick around for? When Drake plugged in the numbers, he found that there had to be a minimum of 20 civilizations out there and a maximum of 50 million. I'm back at the beach to complete the Drake equation based on what astrophysicists currently believe. Now the Drake equation doesn't start with all of the stars in the universe. It only starts with the stars in the Milky Way. And again, there's just as many grains of sand on this beach as there are stars in the Milky Way galaxy. And this is kind of where it gets sad, because even though there are so many stars in the galaxy, it's highly likely that there's only one that has intelligent life on it. Now NASA can give us a pretty good figure for how probable it is that a star supports life. There's a very influential biologist named Ernest Mine who gives us the likely probability that life turns intelligent like us. And what he did was look at the fact that there are roughly 1 billion different species on Earth, and only one of them is intelligent. If we add the historian Michael Shermer's data to it, he gives us a really good estimate of how long a civilization lives. We plug those numbers in, and we find that we might just be the only intelligent species in the Milky Way, which is a little disappointing. What it comes down to is a lot of clever people looked at the probability of life out there and thought, this has to be true. And I don't know about you, but it doesn't feel right. And there's a reason for that. It's due to a flaw in human psychology. We struggle to grasp small probabilities. When a probability is 1 in 10, we intuitively get that. But when the probability is 1 in 1 trillion, then we have no idea how to comprehend it. So to answer the very first question we started with, why do so many clever people believe aliens exist? And why is everyone so obsessed with the Fermi paradox? Well, the answer is quite simple. When you think about it, given the number of stars out there and the amount of time life has had to develop, it just makes logical sense. It feels right that there's got to be aliens out there. So if you're comfortable with the idea that aliens exist now, go and watch this video next where we explore the 16 closest planets that are potentially habitable. And in the video, we also explore what aliens might look like and be like if they were brought up on those planets.